Okay, so I am back with another video for this series. Okay, now I completed recording the first part of the series. Now I am recording the second part now only. Concurrently, I am recording the second part. Now let us just understand what we're gonna be building out in this entire series. Okay, so let us just go ahead with with any drawing software user.io. Okay, let us just go with this drawing part, login. Uh, what I'll do is I'll log in with my Google account. Okay, let's just wait. Okay, I'll just log in with my Google account. Let's just wait for some time. And I will show you through drawings, like how what you're gonna be doing. Okay, so let us just plan everything right here. So create a blank file. I'll not name it. Okay, first of all, let us just call it NextJS authentication agenda. Okay, so first of all, for the API part, okay, for the API part, first of all, the API routes. Okay, first of all, the API routes that will include, first of all, we'll have the sign up API route. Okay, that will accept particularly username, email, and password. Or we can also only accept email and password if you want to only accept email and password. Okay, then we will have a login. Let's say verify email API route. Okay, verify email API route. It will verify all the emails. Then we'll have the login API. Allow login to verified users. only. Okay, allow login to verified users only. Now, then we'll have something called like we can also generate a reset password tokens, reset password API to reset the user's password. Okay, for users who have forgotten their passwords. Okay, then we will have something called a page, profile page, profile API. We'll just fetch out the user's profile data. We'll just fetch out the name. Okay, we'll just fetch out the name. Let us say if we'll store the address and phone. If you want to store the phone number of the user, okay, we can fetch out the profile API. Then what you can do is update profile or password API. Okay, so these two are separate things that will be updating the profile separately, will be updating the password separately. Okay, so updating the password is different thing, resetting the password is different thing. Updating the password means we'll be only asking the authenticated users if they want to update their passwords, if they want to change their passwords. Okay, but for reset password API, what we'll do is we'll only allow guest users to update their to change their passwords if they have forgotten their passwords. Okay, then what we can do is we will also do one thing. Okay, for login, okay, let me show you what I will do is identify the type of identifier. Okay, so we'll be getting okay, get the identifier, username or email, okay, and password. Okay, we'll create one identifier field in which the user will enter either the username or the email. We can validate that using the regular expressions or what you call is regex. Okay, identify the type of identifier, then validate user password, provide access token to the user, to the user. Okay, but in the sign up API, what I will do is, let me tell you. First of all, fetch fetch the existing user with like, let us say with verified, with same username or email. Okay, then what we can do, throw error if the user exists. Okay, then what we can do, we can also validate the password using regex. We'll be doing that. But then what we'll do is hash the user's password and store it in the database. We will not use the plain text passwords because they're vulnerable thing. They're vulnerable to the security. Okay, so this is particularly our API part that will be going ahead. Then we'll just go ahead for the front end, or let's say client routes. The client routes will basically include something called sign up page, login page, login page, verify email page. Okay, then verify email page. Then we will have, let us say, a reset password page. Okay, then profile page. Then we'll have the only these things. There's five client routes. Okay, so we'll have this basic five client routes. Now this is particular our authentication agenda. Now let us talk about the, like, let us talk about that. Now first of all, we'll have what API. Okay, so let us say this is our API. Okay, let us say this is our API. Now what shall we do is, you just write some text here, API. Okay, wait a second. Just, okay, so this is our API. Okay, this is our API. We are having this routes inside our API. Now, first of all, what we will do is we will just go ahead and validate the, let's check out the user. Now, for the user part, let me tell you that, let me just add in the user schema part. Okay, for the user schema. Okay, so let me just see. Let me just go ahead. Wait a second. Okay, so first of all, let us discuss what will be including inside our user schema. Okay, so user schema will particularly include media, X large. Okay, so what will include in our user schema is that, first of all, we can go ahead and store. Okay, so user schema will contain the following fields: name, okay, name, then we'll have profile details. Okay, what we can do is we can design another page, another model to get the profile details of the user, but we'll be doing that here only. Profile details like address, and phone. Then we will store in the email of the user, email, username, and then we'll store password. Okay. Particularly, what I will do is, I will go ahead and make the email and the username, okay, and the username unique. Okay, I'll make this to unique because we don't want any duplicate entries of the user. So this two will be unique. Okay, this two will be unique because I don't want any duplicate entries from the user in the email or the username. Okay, so we'll have only unique entries for our let us say username and email. I'm just repeating everything. Okay, so we'll have unique entries. Now this profile details, this will be actually a nested schema. Okay, so we'll provide a nested schema for this. This will have a so-called nested schema. Okay, nested schema, and this phone number and the address of the user will be optional. Okay, so the phone number and the address of the user will be optional. This thing is optional. The name, profile details, and phone number, profile name and profile details, these are all optional. Okay, let us just draw a flow diagram like this two are optional. Let me just add in the text. Okay, so this is optional. This is optional. Okay, so now add this one is optional, and also this one is optional. These two things are optional, and rest of the things are required. Okay, the rest of the things are required. These are all required. All of these fields are required. Okay, now this is particularly our user schema, as simple as possible, but we'll have some extra fields. Like we can also have let us say we can also have something called verify token. Okay, verify token string. Okay, and we can have verify token expiry. Okay, so verify token expiry, this will be date of type date. This will be a date type. Okay, then we'll have additional properties as well, but that will be implemented by MongoDB by default. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so we have these fields right here. These two fields are unique. Password is required, verified token, and these two are also optional. Let me tell you, these two are also optional. These two things are also optional. This verified token and verified token expiry, these two are optional. Okay, so we can unset this each and every time we want. Okay, so we can also go ahead and store. We will also create another schema. Okay, we'll also create another schema. So that is the, let us say, we can create another schema that is password. So it should be 21 pixel. Okay. So this will be the password reset tokens. Okay. Password reset token schema. And let me just insert some bullets right here. Okay. So this will contain the user. Okay. The user ID. The user ID. Then what you can do is now this should be one to one relation, because we don't want a user to have multiple password reset tokens. A user can have only one reset token at a time, and this reset token expiry will be sooner than the verified token expiry. Okay, or let us say we can go ahead with like 3 hours of token expiration for both verification token and the password reset token. And here we'll have also the token, that is a string. Okay, and token expiry, that is a string. Let us say no, not a string. Actually, it should be a date. Okay, token expiry, that is a date. And what I can do is I can have this password reset token schema. Okay, so these are the fields. Now this is required. Okay, so if I'll talk about the required and optional fields, so this is required. Okay, so this is required field, and then this two are optional. These two are optional. Okay, so this one is optional, and this one is also optional. Okay, so these things are optional. What I can do is I can wait a second. Okay, so we have two schemas. First of all, this is the user schema, and we'll have this reset token schema. And talking about the API and client routes, um, so first of all, we'll have the sign up API. Okay, let me just let me just open this canvas only. Okay, so so this is my API. Okay, so this is my API. Okay, so this is my API. First of all, we'll have one API and one client. Copy and paste. So let us say this is our client. Okay, so this is our client. Okay, so first of all, we want the client to send his or her login credential. First of all, we'll be rendering the login page. Remember, first of all, we'll be rendering the login page, not the register page by default. Okay, first of all, we want that the client should send. Actually, this should be reversed in. So first of all, I want the client to send the login credentials. Okay. So first of all, I want this client to send the login credentials from the front end. Okay. Rather sending the registered credentials from right from the beginning. Okay. Mhm. And then what I will do is behind the scenes, I will check if the user exists or not. Okay. So what will be the algorithm behind the scenes? What will be the algorithm behind the scenes? Check if user exists or not. If the user does not exist, if the user does not exist, what I will do is I'll send a error response. Okay. If the user does not exist, what can I do is what can I do is let me just wait a second to check if the user exists or not. Then what can I do is let us say we are drawing this way. Okay, so both the things. Okay, so what can I do is if yes, no, send back error response. Send back error response. We'll be directly sending back an error response if the user does not exist. If the user does not exist, we'll send him or her an error response. And if the user exists, let us talk about if the user exists, what should happen? Okay, what should happen is what should happen is no, yes. Okay. If the user exists, what can I do is, what can I do is validate user password. Okay. Validate user password. So we will validate the user's password. Now then another catch comes is, first of all, okay. So now another catch is that no, no, send invalid password. Okay, so we'll send one invalid password error to the user frontend. Okay, so this should be actually specified. So send back user not found error. Okay, so send user not found error. Now, if yes, if this is yes, if this is yes, I'll draw another flow. Okay, if this is yes, if I'm providing the correct password, if I'm providing the correct password, okay, if I'm providing the yes, send the user, send the access token to the user. Okay, so this is our basic login flow that will be designing out. Okay, send access to the user. Okay, so actually I forgot one thing, like user not found. Will not validate the user password right away. Will not validate the user password right away. So that is the catch at the end. But in between, what I will do is, let me do one thing. Let me wait a second. Let me bring that down. Okay, so no send invalid password error. Bring that down as well. Okay, wait a second. Wait a second. Just wait for some time. Okay, so yes, if the user exists, what I will do is, I'll write here, check, check if user is verified. Okay, check if user is verified, and we also need one is verified field, right? Okay, we have to also, we also require one is verified, okay, verified. Now default it will be false. Okay, the user will be not verified by default. Okay, so now what I can do is I'll go down and check. Okay, now I'll enter check if the user is verified. Okay, check if the user is verified, or else what you can do is, let me just copy that and do one thing and just create another control flow here. Okay, so if the user doesn't exist, what I can do is, so if the user is verified, wait a second. I think I already have. Uh, let's check if a user is verified. Okay. Now check if user is verified. If that doesn't happen, what we should do is we can send the user one error response. Uh, send. Wait a second. Let me bring that down. Okay. Now send invalid password error. So we'll send no send user not verified error. Okay. user not verified error. And what can I do is uh, check if user is not verified, user not verified error. Okay, but what you can do is if the user is verified, just send him or her the response. Just check the password. Okay, so validate user password. No, send invalid password error. Yes, send the access token. So now we have these four things, or these three things. These are the main three things that will be doing with the login flow. Okay, and then this is the particular control flow. Like if the user exists, no, send the user not found error. Yes, check if the user is verified. Okay, so no, send user not verified error. Then we have this yes, if the user is verified, validate the user password. No, send invalid password error to the client. Then if the user is verified, then yes, send the access token to the user. Okay, so we have this control flow. Okay, you can check out this entire flow chart that you have just decided. I will give you this entire diagram. Okay, at the end of this video, I'll just export this one and give you all of these things. Okay, so then we have another thing that is, let's copy that. Wait a second. Okay, copy that, paste it here. Yes. Okay, so what can I do is I can just copy this entire diagram. Okay, so I will paste everything here. I think this was not copied. So now if I talk about the sign up credentials, sign up credentials. Okay, if we'll talk about the sign up credentials, the sign up flow, first of all, so this is actually the opposite one. If you'll go for the user finding the user finder user logic, so this is the opposite one. Okay, so this is the opposite one. Like if yes, if the user is found, then send the user's found error. If yes, send user exists error. Okay, if the user is found, send the user exists error. So we'll be sending one error that this email or username has been already taken. And then if yes, if the user is not found, if no, no, okay, if no, okay, then what we can do is we will not go ahead and validate the password or everything. We can just directly go ahead and check in that we will just not do anything like this, not do anything like this. We'll just delete that. If, okay, then what you can do is we can see check. We can just directly send the user one email. So there's nothing to do with the sign up part, but there are some catches in the login part that we have to check a bunch of things. But in the sign up part, we don't have to check anything, any significant thing. Okay, we will validate the username and password later on. We'll validate the username and email based on the regular expressions later on. Okay, I have not included that one in the control flow, but will be let me do one thing. So I'll delete this. Let's do one thing. Create try. creating the user. Okay, so no means fear, send internal server error. Okay, send internal server error. Success, success. If you get a success, what I can do is I can just directly go ahead and send success. Okay, success. If you get a success, so get a success, send success response, okay, to the client. We'll be just sending in the success response to the client, and this is all about the basic flow in our application, and rest of the things we can do it later on. But these two are the main things that we have to go ahead with: the login credential flow and the sign up credentials. Okay, so initially we'll be sending the login page, not the sign up page. And if I'll go ahead and click on share, and can I go export this? Can I export this drawing? I want to export this actually. So document. Okay, so here can I have the export? Okay, both to markdown and images. Uh, okay, we can export that. If you want to export both, I want to export both. Okay, so I'll click on export. Now this will export everything right here. Okay, so I'll provide you this particular zip file, this folder. Okay, when export to this, if we'll see what are the files. Now this is particular one MD file that it has generated. You can see this MD file, or you can see this particular, this one. This is the diagram that we have created. Okay, so I'll just end this video right here. So this has been a 32 hours, 32 minute already. That's every time I tell hours, it's already a 32 minutes video over the control flow design for our entire application. The password resetting, the verify email logics that will be implemented on the fly. Okay, while we'll be writing the code for that part, but we have to understand the login and the sign up flow before going ahead creating our application. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching this video, and I will see you next time.